Beili Liu. I live in Austin, Texas, and I teach at the University of Texas at Austin. I've been working as an installation artist for about the last 12 years or so. About a year and a half ago, I received an invitation from the art museum to do an exhibition here. So I was really glad that I was given this opportunity. When I came and saw the space, it actually had 2 separate rooms. And my immediate response was I really want to open up the wall and claim the entire space, and also to envision a project that will activate this entire room and to give it like a central force. The project comes from a pretty interesting story. I saw this piece of wood shaving in my partner's shop. He's a woodworker. And what I saw was a dull end of wood that tapers down to a very fine point. And it's about 3 feet long. And because how thin the wood is, it curved naturally. So I thought that form was quite attractive. And I took about 4 or 5 pieces. I took it into the studio and suspended them. And immediately I noticed the movement where these pieces, they dip and they sway and they point at one another. So at once it's both gentle, but it's also confrontational. So I thought there's a lot of potential that I could use in terms of the form. We translated these pieces into the metal pieces you see in Chine. It's a good example to see how sometimes a project can just come from a surprise, a discovery. Chine consists of about 500 pieces of metal that's laser cut. These are raw steel. We designed in a computer and passed the template to the fabricator, and they were able to cut all these pieces out of metal. We have 73 strands. They're staggered, and on each strand we have 6 elements. It's all very orderly, but as soon as you install it in space, because of the movement, because it rotates, they all start to shift and interact in really interesting and surprising ways. And that's what I'm really looking at in this piece. It's both about the physical balance of the piece. When we're inserting these pieces into the cable loop, that fine touch to tweak it just a little bit forward, a little bit backward, to find that perfect balance is a really meditative and beautiful kind of experience. And I'm also looking at that conceptually, the balance in terms of what we see in life, what we experience in our everyday being. The installation process is always a fun one. I always hope that people get the chance to see what's behind the scene, because there's so much planning, calculation, there's so much labor involved. It's quite repetitive, but it's also really satisfying knowing that end goal, knowing that image will emerge. It used to be sort of just in my mind, and this is the time we make it happen, and that's really exciting. What I see of an installation project is to offer that space that takes the viewer away from their daily situation, their daily environment. It's transformative. For that moment, perhaps you can forget about everything else and really just experience and be with the piece. I'm hoping that people will take their time, want to walk around, and also perhaps bend down and stand up just to see the layering sort of shift and change. It's a gift for me to be able to have the space to create a brand new piece that otherwise would not have existed. So I'm very thankful, and I also feel like the museum has a great vision in terms of showing and supporting contemporary Texas artists. So I think that's really wonderful about this museum.